Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Today in our video I will explain you a detailed and brief introduction about Mininet, which is a realistic virtual network which can be run on a single machine with a single commands. So let's start. So Mininet is basically a powerful network emulation tool used to create virtual network that mimic the behavior of real world network. You can imagine, like, you can create a network which is similar to the real world network, and it's like awesome. It is basically a realistic virtual network running real kernel, switches and application code on a single machine in seconds with a single command, that is sudo mn. Mininet is widely used for research, development and education in networking. Basically for software defined network, that is SDN. You must heard about this word SDN, and it also used for testing network topologies and protocols over network. Basically Mininets create a virtual network on a single machine where hosts are lightweighted processes that run on your host operating system. Switches and routers are emulated using software. So before starting our Mininet, make sure you install Mininet in your local system and it's running perfectly. So to start our default topology in Mininet, we have to type sudo mn. What it will do, it will create a network with two hosts, one switch and one controller. As you can see in the command is printed. So this is our basic default topology, and if you want to check whether these two hosts are communicating with each other or not, to do so we have to type h1 ping h2. When you type, you can see it's pinging and you can see the results is showing. When you press Ctrl C, it will interrupt the pinging, and we can do some other commands also. Here before moving ahead, let's see some interactive command. So to list out all the nodes in a network, we have to type nodes. If you press, you can see all the nodes like the controller and host and the switches are there. If you want to display all the network connection, you have to type net. Then you can see there are 4 network connections. And if you want to check connectivity between all hosts, typing all, you can see it. And like let's say to test connectivity between a specific host like h1 and h2, so we have to type h1 ping h2. When you do so, you can see the pinging. Control C to interrupt it. And let's say to measure bandwidth between these two hosts, so we can do that. We have to type iperf perf, and we have to type the host 1 and host 2, and you can see it's testing TCP bandwidth between h and 2. It will take some time, so you can see the result is 35.6 gigabyte per second. So we have created two hosts. To see the host IP address of both hosts, we have to type h1 if config, and when you press enter, you can see the host 1 IP address is 10.0.0.1. To see the another host configuration, we have to type h2 if config. So as you can see that its IP address 2 and all the network configuration. To exit our Mininet, we have to type exit command, so it will destroy the network, virtual network. And let's create with some custom topology. To do so, we have to type sudo mn -- topo equal to single and we have to provide the number of hosts. Here 4 is the number of hosts. When you enter, you can see your network is created having 4 hosts, and each host is connected with single switch. So let's try some other topology. Control C, exit, and I want to see the linear topology. To do so, we have to type sudo mn topo equal to linear, comma 4. When you enter, you can see like there is a controller and there is 4 switch, and each switch is connected with one host. S1 is connected with H1, S2 is connected with H2, S3 is connected with S3, and S4 is connected with H4. Now our next topology is tree. So first exit the network and sudo mn topo equal to tree, and we have to pass 2 parameters. The first is the label of the tree and the second is the host. When you enter, it shows some error. I think I made some mistake. It's my fault. Yeah, so you can see there are 4 hosts and 3 switches are connected, and these 3 switches and controller are in a tree format where S2 and S3 are connected with S1, and S2 have one host and S3 have one host. It's connected like a tree structure, as you can see in the figure. So one thing I must tell you, whenever you run mininet command, make sure you before running any topology or your custom topology, make sure you run sudo mn-c in order to clean up all mininet process and network configurations, so that when you create a virtual network, it might sometimes happen like it's picking the old configuration. So make sure always type to clear the network configuration.